Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward.
Last night, voters in Spokane Valley passed a levy that will give $25 million of funding to the Spokane Valley Fire Department.
So KREM 2's Nathan Hyun tells us now how that funding will help the community.
I'm here at the Spokane Valley Fire Training Center, where thanks to the maintenance and operations levy that was passed last night, the Spokane Valley Fire Department will now have the funding to add more firefighters, but also more fire trucks and equipment. The Spokane Valley Fire Department relies on levies every 4 years to fund their resources. But this year, the levy was especially important. In 2022, Spokane Valley fire crews responded to a record number of incidents, over 23,000 calls, the most in any year in history.
Every day seems to be even more busier for us.
Sean Pichette is the union president for Spokane Valley Fire. He's been a strong advocate to invest in more resources.
We did a lot of sign waving, getting our message out there as well on street corners early in the morning.
Last year, the department was way over budget on fuel alone. Frank Soto is the fire chief for Spokane Valley Fire.
Our budget for fuel alone went up by over 64%. So, I mean, I think sometimes we forget as a fire department to share that information with our public. But
the levy passed with a 67% vote, and it will provide $25 million in new funds to the department.
Because now we can get more fire trucks on the streets, we can get more firefighter and firefighter paramedics on the streets, and so it's only going to help what we're already doing.
This season's Fire Academy has 15 new recruits to keep up with the increase in calls.
Now, the amounts on what we needed within the levy, we did change that in order to build up and add more positions within the fire department because the need was huge.
I'm told funding from this levy will kick in starting next year, and it will help fund the Spokane Valley Fire Department for the next 4 years. In Spokane Valley, Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
Well, the inland Northwest seeing slightly warmer temperatures today. It was kind of nice, wasn't it?
It was nice outside. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo with a quick look at the forecast. Jeremy?
Well, the sun, believe it or not, is still up. I know it's dipped below some of the mountains, but we actually calculate sunset with the horizon, even if the horizon is behind some mountains. But here you go. Sun not setting here for another 10 minutes. 37 degrees in Spokane and not too far from it over in Coeur d'Alene. Those mild temperatures are going to be a thing of the past here in the next few hours. I think we wind up cooling off pretty quick. It's light winds and clear skies overhead that allow us to do so. We don't really see much in the way of cloud cover through the first half of tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, clouds build, and by Friday morning, a few light snow showers over the panhandle of Idaho gives us a little bit of cloud cover, and then it's all about the sunshine in the afternoon. So the next few days look as follows. Tomorrow, another somewhat cool morning. By tomorrow afternoon, pretty mild as those clouds build back in. Friday, morning clouds, sunny afternoon, mid-40s, and even Saturday staying in the 40s as those overnight lows trend a bit closer to the 30-degree mark. But the moral of the story here is enjoy it while you can. We're talking much colder temperatures as we head into next week.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. In other top stories tonight, the attorney representing North Idaho College in a lawsuit wants to withdraw from the case. Attorney Brett Walter filed a motion to withdraw as counsel, citing an irreconcilable breakdown of the client-attorney relationship. That lawsuit was filed by North Idaho College President Nick Swain after he was put on administrative leave. Today, a bill for Idaho to expand its borders and absorb a portion of eastern Oregon, known as Greater Idaho, was debated on the state House floor. Lawmakers were only voting on if they should have official conversations on the topic with the Oregon legislature. Yes or no? Well, the idea passed in the Idaho House 41-28, and it's now headed to the Idaho Senate on the committee level. The Idaho judge in the Lori Vallow case denied her motion to dismiss the charges against her. Vallow and her husband Chad Daybell are charged with murdering her 2 children and Daybell's ex-wife back in 2019. On Monday, the judge did agree to issue proposed juror instructions. That trial is set to start on April 3rd in Ada County.
International headlines tonight. Michigan State University students staged a sit-in protest at the state capitol following Monday's deadly mass shooting. They are calling for stricter gun laws after 3 of their fellow classmates were killed and 5 more critically injured. Among the speakers, a freshman who also survived a deadly shooting at her high school in Oxford, Michigan, just last year.
Today I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted that I know what is coming. Exhausted I am once again asking our legislators to put our lives first.
According to law enforcement, the 43-year-old gunman who lived in Lansing has no ties to MSU. Neighbors say they regularly heard him firing his weapon in his backyard. The next update from police is expected tomorrow afternoon. Also tonight, hundreds gathered for a vigil on MSU's campus. It took place at the rock that many have played their respects to victims since the mass shooting took place. So we will continue to follow this coming up later on KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. Dramatic moments this afternoon during the sentencing hearing for the man responsible for a racially motivated shooting inside a Buffalo grocery store. Take a look. The sister of one of the 10 people killed inside Tops grocery store was delivering an emotionally charged victim impact statement when a man pushed past her, tried to get to the 19-year-old defendant, Peyton Gendron. He was quickly stopped by police. Gendron was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In other news this evening, the devastation from last week's earthquake in Turkey and northern Syria is just devastating.
Tens of thousands of people are dead and millions more displaced. It is a faraway disaster that is very personal for one local Spokane man who's now lost more than 20 members of his own family.
He is in Turkey now trying to locate his brother. He can't find him. He has no news. He doesn't know what happened to him. He doesn't know if he's alive. He doesn't know if he's dead. Nobody knows what happened to him.
And this is your cousin?
Yes, my cousin that I grew up with.
Hakan Dalen grew up in Turkey. His childhood home, his extended family, and countless friends gone in minutes after that earthquake that shook Turkey.
And tonight on KREM 2 News at 6, we will hear his story and find out how the inland Northwest can help.